Alright fellas, here we are for a Pokemon Legends ZA video. Yes, I basically just started making a lot of this content in order to just throw out all of what I'm wanting to do now. I did a Pokemon TCG Pocket video, I did a TCG video, now we're doing Legends ZA. I want to look at the extended look at the game. There's more information I'm probably going to have to end up like going into for another video, but this one I just want to look at the extended look at the game, get back into it, see like, oh, what's the like frame rate of the game looking like, what's the graphics looking like, what's the gameplay looking like, which I'm so hyped for this game, man. Like I've looked at it a little bit, and other than, you know, when I first looked at it with the trailer and whatnot, and I mean, I've seen like people say, oh, it's laggy, oh, the graphics are pretty good, or like the gameplay looks amazing. Obviously, I've seen all that, but I will say, despite any flaws people are saying, anything that's hype, I am hyped no matter what, guys. This is such a good game. It looks so good. That's a great thumbnail, by the way. Not great thumbnail. Logo, by the way. Anyway, Kalos. Here we are in Lumiose City. Apparently, the game actually does take place all in Lumiose City, seemingly. I don't think they've like 1000% confirmed it is just Lumiose City. Like maybe there's like, you know, like an outskirts type of thing you could do like outside of Lumiose City. Who knows? But for the most part, it seems like the game's gonna be taking like, you know, 80-90+% in Lumiose City, right? Or like maybe under it. Who's to say? Like, there's so many theories you can probably make about this game, like how it's gonna work. But for now, we'll just kind of stick with like what is like at least implied. But it seems like we're taking pretty much all in Lumiose City, which is fine because they showed in the trailer that you can climb buildings, or like I guess get on top of buildings. You don't actually like climb them. Like there was like a hologram thing that kind of like, not hologram, but some sort of like transporter that took you to the top of a building or something like that. And also they showed us like zipping something like to other buildings, which looked insane, by the way. That looks so fun. But yeah, here we are. We've got Lumiose City, the largest place in Kalos, probably one of the biggest cities in Pokemon in general, if not the biggest, frankly. It's got Prism Tower. It's got the little marts here. I could see this like functioning similarly, definitely, as to like the what's this? Is it Mesagoza, I think, in Paldea and Scarlet and Violet, where they've got like all these shops where you can buy a bunch of stuff. Like obviously in Scarlet and Violet, you could buy like battle items, you could buy food stuff, you could buy clothing, stuff like that. These look like clothing centers, but I could see like the big like center of Prism Tower probably being like a Pokemon Center, a Pokemon Mart to buy stuff, something to do like a new mechanic in the game, like you know, crafting in Legends Arceus was a thing. Maybe something like a similar mechanic to that, like you can get materials for doing that. Like example of materials for making Pokeblock. We don't even know if that's in the game, probably isn't, but like just an example, right? Like again, clothing, as is obviously shown here. Like we could see like a massive shopping center here in the center of Prism Tower, which would be interesting. Badoo and Vivillon, I mean, obviously we knew this. There's the Florges statue, which looks pretty nice. I mean, look at the graphics. I think these, like the graphics in our style of this game look really good. There's the evolutions, of course. The evolutions are going to be in the game. Yes, we're getting a Glaceon. We will. This is a good way to like show like the style of the game. The style looks pretty good. People have noticed that like the style of the game looks a lot less realistic as what was kind of like the intent to go for kind of in like Scarlet and Violet, and it's kind of gone back to like not cell shading, but like a more kind of cartoony style where it's like the Pokemon are less like actually furry and more like, you know, silky smooth, like let's go Pikachu and Eevee, but like not quite, right? I mean, the animations look super good. They look super cute. There's an actual Pokemon Center. I mean, there's probably gonna be tons of these scattered out throughout the region. That potion looked like this looks like an eyeball. Like if we, I guess I should probably full screen. That's fair. But like, look at it. It looks like a freaking eyeball here, man. Can we get some better quality? No. Okay. And then there's not really much else to say here. Not too much else, but here's an area. I guess this is like one of the wild zones. It's like these. It's like, oh, that's so cool. I actually didn't notice. It's like the monster statues. I don't think this is a specific Pokemon, right? Like this kind of looks like Cubone, but it looks like the just generic like the statues in the Pokemon mansion and whatnot, like in like red, blue, and yellow and stuff like that. It just looks like that like regular dinosaur looking creature, not even like an actual Pokemon. Though it could be Cubone because I mean, it kind of looks like Cubone. Anyway. Lumiose is undergoing a high-tech urban redevelopment plan, as you can see with all the scaffolding here, and the new, I forget what they call it. I do not remember how to say the friggin' name of the company, but there's the stuff there. There's like all their logos all over, but it's like scaffolding basically for like new buildings and new like avenues of walking, I suppose. Patch right over here as well, of course. Very cool. Look at it searching around. Holograms of people is very interesting. Cars, Klotz. I mean, obviously this game does not take place in the past. I really doubt this is like an older game with how like modernized this looks. This just looks like after X and Y, and they're like trying to actually be even more like technologically advanced with it. Because if you think back to X and Y, obviously Pokemon doesn't like follow the like logic a crap load. I mean, it doesn't like, you know, it's not really its intent as a game, right? But like if you think about X and Y, Lysander initially like created like the I forget what's called, like the Holocaster, the Holocaster thing, which like obviously allows for holograms of people. This is here, right? I mean, there's no way that this takes place before like X and Y, because the Holocaster was like pretty recent, still in an X and Y era when you played. So like this game would have to be like literally like 5 years before the actual X and Y games, which I guess could happen, but I don't see it happening. I think this game is after the events of Pokemon X and Y, and also to not even include this, like, it's AZ, right? I mean, AZ's entire thing, like obviously it takes place after. If anyone really needed a little bit more like confirmation on that, I don't know why people were thinking it still takes place before. There's no way. AZ alone is some good evidence. There's the like Hyper Potion 3D hologram in the background. I don't know what this guy is. This guy was appeared in front of the Pokemon Center earlier, didn't he? Yeah, this guy. Who is this guy? Is he gonna give us missions or like things to do? We could see that maybe. There's the Patrat. There's the street. There's Larvitar and Bagon. There's Aegislash and Eevee in the background. Not much else to say here. Just mostly looking at like how's the game's graphics looking, the style. I think if we had a better like resolution video, because I mean this is in 1080p, but like still a little bit iffy. I think that like this is like actual probably like what native like resolution on the Switch is gonna look like. I mean Switch 2 probably gonna look better, but you know they're just kind of gives us a good look at what it's going to be like on release with the Switch. But there's Trubbish and Garbodor, all the garbage. I mean, again, mostly just like a look at the art style. Eevee, very cute looking. Chandelure, so down. They're showing the great animations. The grass looks amazing. I mean, a lot of people like to focus on, oh, the trees and the grass. What's that stuff look like? Well, the grass looks amazing. Come on, the grass looks really, really good. I would say the grass alone. The grass is like Breath of the Wild level and all that stuff. They like, you know, it's a Switch. Come on, don't expect like PS5 graphics here. There's Sylveon, as we already established. There's a look down Lumia Street, which this cinematic shot, like if you were to like enhance it like resolution wise, would look amazing. Like if this was like a 4K image, this would look really, really fucking good. Like the perspective of looking down the streets with all the people, the trees, the grass, the sidewalks. Like I mean, this shot just looks so good, man. So good. It looks so awesome. So yeah, I mean, this stuff is so super good. Here's the starters, the official reveal of the starters here. Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile. People are pretty confused on like why these are our starter options. I mean, fair enough, honestly, but like, I mean, two of these are very underrated. Honestly, I don't think Feraligatr is very high rated either. It's just like kind of like the people consider, I guess, the best of the Johto options. I think Feraligatr's fine, but like Emboar, and Meganium need some love. So whether they get a regional form or a Mega Evolution or fucking both, we're cooking with these. We're cooking. We're happy. Chikorita. I mean, these close-up shots of the starters kind of like show what I mean when like the style has changed. I mean, if you like take a look at this and then look at like Chikorita in like the Blueberry Academy, you know, Scarlet and Violet, the style is just completely different. And the fact that we went for like a different like stylization of the Pokemon and all that makes me kind of think that like they probably did that both for like performance in order to like give the Pokemon less detail, but also like to make the style look more Pokemon. It's like Pokemon does not need to be like a hyper realistic game. It needs to be one that's like definitely cartoony and like, you know, good graphics and whatnot. Or like it should be good graphics rather, but like it doesn't need to have like that super high level of realistic detail. It's a more cartoonish against like cell shaded type of game. At least I believe so. I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong with realistic Pokemon, but you know. Anyway. So, I mean, yeah, so good. I mean, the running looks nice. I mean, again, more graphics and more shots of, like, what the game's going to look like. And, again, I think it looks just so good. It looks so good. But let's get into, like, some more stuff here. Here's the inhabitants, the new characters. We've got Jet. What's your name? Urbane. There we go. AZ, Tawny, and Vinny. Okay. These characters, I mean, I think, okay. Here's your new friend and ally. You got Urbane/Tawny, which apparently the main... They might have just not like established it well, but I think like the main character is going to also be Urbane/Tawny, but they're going to look like how they actually do. Like if you go back and look at the main character here, this would be Tawny as like the main character, but this would be Urbane as the rival, and then the male character would look like, you know, this, but the male version, and then, you know, you can kind of see like what it would look like as like the rival. I don't know how that works, or if that's even accurate. Like these could just be completely different characters. These could be different characters. No idea, but I guess we're just gonna see. There's the Eternal Floette. I do think this is a game. I'm gonna probably make a whole dedicated video to this where we're gonna actually get Floette finally. They're finally gonna actually give us the Eternal Floette. It just needs to happen, but we're glad to see it. Yeah, Urbane and Tawny. I'm pretty sure I'm saying their names right. I don't think it's Urbane or Tunny or something. Or Towny, whatever. But anyway, we got AZ. So AZ looks very different compared to how he did in X and Y, which, I mean, makes sense. Like, he's not a homeless man anymore. We take those. Yes, he's not a homeless man. Like, if I want to pull up an image, let's see. Let's pull up AZ here, AZ Pokemon. Like, in X and Y, he looked very different. Like, we got plenty of images here, and obviously there's this new look in ZA here. Bulbapedia's got, like, an official version for him. But, like, he looked so different. But this, my personal, like, theory on, like, why he looks like this, I mean, it's not even a theory. It's basically, like, just basic morals and, like, understanding is that, like, he was depressed, upset, you know, grieving, you know, all, like, the stages of grief of emotions, right? Like, the guy was not having a good time, obviously. And so, like, he was just, like, a raggedy, like, traveler, didn't really care too much, you could say, and, like, you know, for 3,000 years after the firing of the ultimate weapon. Floette returns to him at the very end of X and Y. You know, you witness that scene in the game's post-credits scene, and, well, he's like, all right, change the life around, and now he ends up looking like an actual gentleman. He's got himself an actual, pretty good hairdo. I mean, you know, still super fucking long, but, you know, that's fine. He got himself a suit and a tie and, you know, the cane. I honestly am, like, believing that the cane is more of a stylistic choice for him than, like, the fact that he actually can't walk. Like, is it a problem he has? He might, like, sure. You know, people are making theories like, oh, he's not actually immortal, like, he's actually just aging at a slower rate. You know, I mean, could be, could not be, who's to say, but I wouldn't look too much into it, why he's using a cane. I just think it's kind of more of a stylistic choice that's like, okay, he's gotten better and, like, he's more, you know, trying to, like, fit better into society now that, like, he actually has a reason to, like, the Floette. He wants to, like, I guess, you know, actually live a little bit better than, like, what he did, right? And, like, give Floette probably a better life, just being honest, right? Anyway, so, yeah. Lumios's redevelopment is being managed by okay, how do you say it? Quasartico Inc. Why was I reading it from the subtitles? It's right here. Quasartico Inc. Very interesting. Every single time we've had a big corporation in the Pokemon franchise that's been, like, named and notable, they have been evil. Like, obviously, there's Silph and Kanto, and they're not evil, even though they were, like, taken over by Team Rocket for a bit of the game. But that's not really what I mean. Like, Silph is a big company, but it's not, like, a big named, like, important part of the game company. I'm talking more the Aether Foundation and Macrocosmos. You know, the ones run by Lusamine and Rose. Are they necessarily, like, generic evil characters? Not really, but they are, you know, they end up being, like, the villains of the game. You fight Lusamine. In Sun and Moon, you fight Lusamine as a boss. You fight her in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon as a boss. In Sun and Moon, you fight the Ultra Beast, you know, the Mother Beast fight. Like, that's, you know, part of the Aether Foundation. You fight through the entire Aether Foundation to get to that point. Same thing in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. You fight Faba, right? Macrocosmos, like, the entire thing with Eternatus was caused by Rose, and, you know, you fight the Macrocosmos agents, you fight Oleana, you fight Rose, then you fight Eternatus, right? You know, so we're fully expecting this to be another case of an evil corporation, which, you know, say what you want, maybe that translates to society. Anyway, we got our new characters, Jet and Vinny. I do not know who Vinny looks like. He looks kind of familiar, but I honestly cannot think about it. I don't really know. But Jet looks a lot like Glacia. I don't know if Legends is going to be another type of game where it's like, oh, these characters look similar to other characters, but, like, she looks like Glacia. She looks like Glacia. Like, am I wrong in that, like, assumption? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Like, am I wrong in that, though? Like, if we want to look at this, like, look at Glacia here. Like, they look similar. They really, really do. Like, let's get a more, like, close-up picture here. They look very similar to me. I would say so. Hello, works for Lance. Yeah, I don't know why. Did they want to do that? Maybe, but I guess we'll find out. Who's to say? They could do something with that. And Vinny, I'm not really too sure. But yeah, the CEO of it is Jet, and then her secretary is Vinny, which is pretty funny. And then we've got the main character and the rival here, AZ. AZ is still tall as fucking ever. He's got the leg brace here. I forget why he has that, actually, but there's probably a good corporate reason for. Different people you will meet will make your time in Lumiose all the richer. Yes, I mean, cool rival, honestly. We could look a little bit more into this if we want to go to the website, which we might, but I don't know. Help people in Pokemon coexist. They are wild zones. Lumiose has set up wild zones which now allow you to go through and fight wild Pokemon. There's Sandile there. I mean, a lot more Pokemon are being shown. Altaria, Flaffy. We already know these are coming because of the existence of Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution's coming back. They're gonna be having it. This is a super cool scenic shot as well. I mean, this, like, you can see how small this zone is. Like, they just walked into it, and then the ending is right here. Like, that is a very, very small wild zone, but you can see there's Fletchling, Bunnelby, you can catch these Pokemon, there's grass, there's probably, that might be like a trainer or somebody, in the distance. I'm very curious to see how these wild zones end up working and how big some of them can end up being, because this is the first one. It's going to be a little bit smaller. I guess it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, you go to Legends Arceus, it threw us in the massive Obsidian Fieldlands, and, like, it restricted our access a little bit, yeah, but, like, that was a pretty big area to explore, whereas this one is pretty small, right? So I want to see how wild can we go with it. We can see the map in the corner. This map looks very cool. I like the look of this map because it's like a Grand Theft Auto kind of map where you can see, like, through the different avenues of, like, street buildings and whatnot, and probably like some entrances, and then the green lit up sector is showing the wild zone. So there's a little bit of lag. You can kind of see it, at least in my opinion. If you want to look at the Fletchling's wings here, look at these. You can see the slowdown kind of. Like, there is a little bit of, like, lag and frame rate issues, but I can see this being fixed with the day one patch, fixed on the Switch 2, probably 100%. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of this lag is going to be, like, something you're going to be witnessing as, like the level of, like, what Scarlet and Violet was. I really don't think so, just because I think a lot of, like, the laggy, like, frame rate things you might see in this game are going to be kind of incorporated, not as a feature, but, like, something that's going to be alleviated by how the game, like, functionally works, I guess, in a sense. I'll kind of explain what I mean a little bit later. But anyway, you can throw the Pokeball, there's a Fletchling, a little bit of a slowdown, that's kind of what I mean. It's like, there was a little bit of slowdown when it hit the Fletchling. I think that could have just been, like, not a stylistic choice, but, like, a choice that was made to, like, kind of, like, make the catching feel a little bit heavier. I don't know. It's something more of like a feel than something I can actually explain. But, like, you can see the slowdown and then the boom hit, sparks, and then it got in the ball, right? Like, it was a little bit laggy, but it actually, like, I think that was kind of incorporated into it a little bit. Anyway, there was Fletchling caught. I like that menu, by the way. That menu looks really cool. The Pokeball catching looked nice. The GUI here looked nice. But then the register to Fletchling at the top here, I like this. I like this a lot more than it, like, popping up on the side or, like, on your menu or something like that. I like this look. On the center of your screen, Fletchling, it's hot, it's like see-through, translucent. You can see through it. I like the look of this. I really like that UI. Then there's got ourselves the catching of, I think, yeah, Flaffy. And then there's the battle. Okay, there's a lot here. This is a wild zone. This is also a massive wild zone. If we take the view of the main character, we can see that their map physically is flipped from what the one in the UI here looks like, meaning that this little barrier here is what this little barrier here is. And you can see over here, that's where this barrier is. If you see right here, this barrier is right here. That is a big wild zone, and that's not even considering if you turn around and look about, like, behind the character and see how big this entire area is going to be. That's pretty insane. That's actually a pretty big wild zone. We don't know, like, what wild zone this is, but these are, like, level 15 Pokemon, seems. So we can see this is some pretty cool stuff. This is some very cool stuff. These wild zones seemingly are going to be pretty big, and the fact that they're on, like, a rooftop and whatnot shows that we're going to be able to, like, fight against Pokemon in the wild, or, like, have battles on rooftops, which is pretty sick. There's a ladder there to get to the next rooftop, like, you can climb higher, again, like Assassin's Creed Pokemon Edition. And this is just the map we're looking at. This isn't even the good UI, the moves, the moves previously used by the team, the fact you're like spotted by a Pokemon, the Razor Leaf UI right above Chikorita's head. There's a lot to unpack here. There's so much. The battling looks amazing, though. Like, this game looks so good for the, like, the UI. It's a real-time combat. I guess we'll let it play here a little bit. Like, yeah, you can see, there we go, there's the Pokeball caught. So, it didn't really go, like, I don't think it was, like, too quick into it, but if we want to go back and look at it here, there's the Flaffy, use Razor Leaf, and then Pokeball. Okay. So, it's a little bit hard to tell here, but this is real-time catching. I mean, obviously, it was announced in the trailer, people already know, but, like, real-time catching is here, meaning that instead of having, turn-based content where you use a move, Pokemon enemy uses a move, you go back and forth, you actually have a time limit on, like, them, like you use a move, you have a cooldown, you can use it again. Same with the enemy's moves, and you can actually dodge them in real time by having your Pokemon dodge, and that's why this little turn order thing here is here, because the Flaffy can use one move, you can use multiple moves. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's real-time combat, not turn-based. Finally, what Pokemon has needed for literally forever. Oh, it's so hype. And then we can see the party here as well. Mostly just a lot of Kalos Pokemon that, kind of expected. And then there's the registration of Flaffy, and the party gains a lot of EXP. Looks like it's going to be another one of those games where it's, like, super easy to grind up, your team and whatnot, which is fine. I mean, we're not in this game for, like, difficulty and, like, oh, God, it's super stressful. No, we're in this for having fun and playing Pokemon. Come on. We're not in for that. If you want to get one difficulty, go play a ROM hack. Come on. Or like immense difficulty, rather. So yeah, this game offers a style of Pokemon battling not seen in other titles. We know this. Like I should full screen these videos. I don't know why I'm not doing that, but like, yeah, here's the actual battling. We can see again, it is real-time combat. There is the Tepig. Immediately starts using rollout. You can move, get your Pokemon to come with you. It'll follow you, and then you can dodge the attack that way. Tepig used rollout. Tepig missed. You can then command your Pokemon to do this move. Saw them use Water Gun. Hit the Tepig, boom, did some damage as it tried to dodge, but it did not dodge. It failed and then got hit for some super effective damage. And you can see here, Water Gun, if you look at Water Gun as it's being used, you can see once it finishes, the recharge starts. So it can actually recharge and keep and use Water Gun again once that is done. And then we can also use Bite here. And then you can see these here. This is interesting. This is very interesting, is that this actually is also showing ourselves the effectiveness of our moves. X on the Dragon Pulse with Lucario here, because it's a fairy type, it doesn't get affected by it. Bullet Punch with the circle, the target symbol, super effective. And then Aura Sphere, not very effective, I guess shown by a triangle, which is a little odd. Anyway, this also gives a lot of extra good usage to Protect in this game. Like, Protect obviously is good, naturally. I mean, Protect from any damage, but the fact that you can just not dodge an enemy's attack and use Protect and avoid, void all damage with it, that actually is super, super good. Like, use Protect, took the Moonblast, protect itself from the attack. And again, here's the same thing. Hippowdon with Talonflame. Stealth Rock has a completely different effect in this game, which is sick, where it actually just gets thrown up and the enemy tries to move at you, and they hit the rocks and they take extra damage. That is a super cool effect that you never would have really thought about, being used with Stealth Rock. You would have thought about this in like the anime, and this is like the anime, man. We're in the anime now, where we're actually using moves as like outside the box type of like design, where Stealth Rock sets up like a massive like field of floating rocks where the enemy hits them and they take damage. That's exactly what happens here. Talonflame takes the damage with its Flame Wheel. So sick. We're so hyped to see this. And again, we're on the middle of a rooftop. Look at this. On the middle of a rooftop. We're even outside of a wild area too. Like, this isn't an area where we've got like wild Pokemon. This is just outside of it. And then there's the center area, which could be a wild area itself, as you can see in the top corner. This is a super cool aspect of it as well, where you can run around, have your Pokemon dodge with you, dodge that Pyro's flamethrower attack, bring out Onix, and then use Rock Slide, again, super effective move, which Onix did try to dodge that flamethrower that the Pyro was throwing out, which apparently freaking flamethrower's recharge rate is very fast, which is a little broken, but that's okay. Onix tries to dodge it, doesn't manage to dodge, takes a lot of damage, use Rock Slide, and well, there goes the Pyroar. Which, by the way, you can see that the little bit of lag here when Onix uses Rock Slide. You can kind of see it, how it impacts and how it lands. And there's a little bit of lag, but I think there's mostly a little bit of lag whenever you can look at like the Vivillon versus I went back way too far. The Vivillon versus the Pyroar. You can see the Pyroar use Flamethrower there. You can see the lag slow down, which I think like you can say is a bad thing. Like, I guess fair enough, right? But I also think that this is fine because it's kind of showing like, oh, you just barely dodged that. And it's like kind of slowing down, like a slow anime dodge or something like that. Like, obviously it's lag, but I think it kind of incorporates a little bit well. I don't think it's like, at the very least, it's like it's that big of a deal, honestly. But yeah, then the Onix comes out, use the Rock Slide, and there you go, landed on the Pyro. Pyro's gone, and you can see the Rock Slide is actually starting to recharge, and you can probably use other moves in that same slot. So that's so sick. Mega Evolution's back. This is going to be pretty cool. I don't know how it's going to play in, gameplay wise, but probably just obviously stat buffs and new abilities and whatnot, but we'll see how it actually goes. Anyway, Mega Evolution. Somehow this is like one of the least hyped parts of the trailer, just because we already knew it was coming. Even though, wow, oh, that's so cool. I didn't even notice that. Oh, I didn't even notice this in the original trailer. I need to actually view this. What is this? Oh, it's Dragalge. Okay. I was like, what is this Pokemon? It's Dragalge. There's Glaceon, by the way. Yes, Glaceon in the game. We're so happy. What all is there to go over in this? There's a lot, frankly. Okay. There's the Mega Evolution, Absol, cool. There's Altaria, level 60. We got Absol, level 57 here. This symbol, it looks like Mega Evolution is a time limit. They turned it into a time-limited thing. Oh, that's sick. That's pretty cool. So Mega Evolution seems to be time-limited because as you see here, if we look at this Absol and look at the time gauge, it's moving. It's slow. It's going down, 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 and you can see the gauge here with the Charizard, Kangaskhan, it's all going down. But it seems these Pokemon also have new, I don't know what you call this, new level of power. Turning the tide in favorite battle. It doesn't like give us much of a description, but I don't know what these moves are called. Are they like the C+ moves? Something like that. It could be. This could be like this. Is this like the symbol of like the Cortisica? What the fuck is their damn? What is the damn company name? Quasortico Inc. Yeah. Is it that? Is that like their symbol? Is that what that is? Again, if we want to go back and look at it, I mean, it looks kind of similar. Like the C with the line through it, like that. It looks pretty similar. If we want to go back here and look, like. Look at that. It looks kind of similar. It really does. So maybe like they're actually powering up our Pokemon with Mega Evolution. Interesting. Or maybe they have some way of messing with it. Who knows? Either way, Mega Evolution's got some cool new effects to it. It seems like all the moves get stronger under Mega Evolution. Could be something that's very, very interesting to consider. Obviously, more great cinematic shots, more Pokemon, you know, just amazing looking stuff. Super, super good. Zygarde cell. Yeah, Zygarde obviously is the main focus of the game. I guess we're going to be able to get Zygarde cells, probably get up to some cool shit with Zygarde, and there we go. Legends ZA coming late 2025. Yeah, we're so hyped. Apparently this late 2025 is going to be autumn, because apparently in the Japanese trailer it said autumn 2025. So yeah, probably around that October, November time zone. Not time zone, release date. I don't know what this is, by the way. I saw this. I do not understand what it is, but it does have a Rotom phone, which has 3 cameras, so cool. And then it says this is a promotion match announcement. Who's to say? And then there's a Lumiose symbol. This could be like maybe a new game mode, some new like very cool feature in the game. Who's to say? We don't know. All right, and there it is. It's over. Yeah, Legends ZA looks so good. So cool. Just want to do more like an in-depth analysis of the extended look at the game trailer. I'll end up trying to do a little more research, get some more thoughts over the game, and like probably look and see like if there's any extra information they've posted like on the websites, and we'll make another video. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Pokemon Legends ZA. This game looks so insane. I'm so hyped for it. So good. Yeah, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I mean, we're hyped. We're here. Let me know what other videos you want me to make over Legends ZA and just Pokemon content in general. Yeah, I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed. Peace.